This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Kate has escaped the gulag and its sweet, sweet freedom. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Syberia, the world before. In the last episode, we got a little bit more information about Dana and about the prejudices she has to deal with, sort of, with violence against her and her family. But now the big thing is Kate has escaped and she's back to normal. Hooray! No more creepy prison garb and no more other situations. So let's see what's going on here. Read that. Wartime spoils found in clandestine salt mines. The discovery of a clandestine salt mine in the Iron Taiga region has both shocked campaigners of human rights and rocked the art world. It is reported that police descended on the illegal underground enterprise following a tip off from a former slave. But slave labor was not the only surprise the police had in store. In one of the caverns, they discovered a steam engine with several wagons full of prized wartime spoils. The missing masterpieces and other precious objects of art are said to have been stolen by the Brown Shadow during World War II. The find is estimated to be worth several $100 million. Police Chief Victor Polinsky said, "The operators and the jailers have been detained and the mine has been dismantled. The slaves have been identified and after a short period of hospitalization will be released to their next of kin." According to one hospital source, many slaves have been reporting that they had not been mining salt as was previously understood, but ivory and strange artifacts. The police have not yet commented on these reports, only stating that the investigation is ongoing. With regards to the stolen art, Polinsky added, "Once our team of art experts has listed and identified the stolen objects, the difficult task will be to return them to the rightful owners." However, Chief Polinsky and his team might not have to look very far for the owners of many of these items. The authorities have already received hundreds of calls from people around the world claiming to hold proof of stolen family heirlooms and artwork. That's usually how it is. Whether it's true or not depends. Well, looks like the mines were cleared up, and we had nothing. I mean, we may have told people about it. It's hard to say, but yeah, it's taken care of off screen. Thanks for that. Oh, the internet. Actually, let me do that. I'll come back in a second. Let me read that book that the lady gave us. Man, it's kind of awkward when it gets so quiet as you're sitting down and stuff like that.
Right. Guess I'd better start looking for shops called Muller that are likely to sell art supplies.
Alright, let's take a look at these things. Okay, well, the ones we have to check are this one, and this one. But we're going to check all of them just for fun.
This shop could sell the painting case. Well, maybe.
How do you erase that? It looked like it was permanent ink, but anyway. I think she says it no matter what if you say check. Okay, it's the same no matter what. Alright. We'll rule out. Okay, yeah, we don't need that. Don't need that. Nope. Rule that one out. Rule that one out. This one possibly. The pawnbroker paintings in gold. And then this one. And then this one is a no-go. Basically, there's only 3 we have to worry about, so. Rule out the shoes. No shoes! Anyone with antiques, though. Yes. That's what we're looking for. Alright. Hey, wait, you're writing in this book this lady gave you. That's not cool. It's like when you tear pages out of yellow pages. Not cool, man.
These 3 make up a good basis to work from. Let's see if I can rule out a couple using the map.
Alright, now we just need to reference them, which is... let's see. Should be around here, so yep.
Maybe the painting case came from this shop.
And then the other one is... There's a lot of them, but basically the 3 ones we want to check are here. And then over here. Everyone else we don't need to worry about. This is the reference map, by the way.
Okay. So these 3 shops are the most likely to have sold the painting case. I need to pick the right one now.
Alright, so the one we want is this one over here, so.
The antique shop from the phone book is located in this district. Looks like it's full of similar stores. An industrial estate. Difficult to imagine an art supply shop could have prospered here. The district seems like it's changed a lot since when the phone book came out. Looks like the pawnbroker I found is no longer in business.
Okay, well, anyway, this is the one we need to choose, so.
No doubt about it. This antique shop is probably my best shot. Better hang on to the address.
Dude, you ripped it out! What's wrong with you? You could have copied or written it down, jerk. The page I tore out of the phone book at the guest house indicates that Mueller and Son's shop can be found in the antiques district of Vaugen.
Just need to get the painting from my room, and I can go and show it to the antique dealer.
Alright, let's check our diary with things going on. Yeah, we got the thing there. Got our objectives. We also have a secret, another secondary objective. Okay, so this is... Okay, this is the new one. December 30th, 2004. Dear Mrs. Foster, it is with great pleasure that I am able to inform you that Miss Walker has escaped from the mine. Sadly, however, according to the guards, her cellmate did not survive the breakout. That makes one more death for the fugitive to mourn. And there she is. She apparently headed west towards an unknown destination. Maybe she's headed for an airport. Who knows? The plane ticket that you sent with the letter might have had the desired effect. After all, there aren't any more castles in the sky for Kate Walker to go searching for, are there? Number 7, 2005. Dear Miss Foster, thanks for the information in your last letter. Should allow me to get back on track. If Miss Walker was last seen in Vaugen, then Vaugen is where I'm headed. Uh-oh. Seeking Kate Walker. Let's see. I can hardly believe I've been searching high and low for almost a year now, from east to central Europe, to pick up Miss Walker's trail. She seems to have kept away from the main highway and cities, but there have been a number of sightings from country people and misfits. They mostly speak of a mysterious foreigner of few words. Apparently her only goal is to make her way westward, crisscrossing minor roads on her old motorbike, also only pausing for short breaks or to do odd jobs to pay for her next tank of gas. She apparently doesn't bond with anyone, never divulges her motivations. The witnesses unanimously confirm that she spends moments of rest listening to her mother's music box you sent her and contemplating some strange paintings. Well, I guess after losing like Oscar and then her cellmate dying, kind of put her in a bit of a bad mood. So, okay, let's go to the computer now. If we go to the computer and mess with it, we'll earn the clean slate achievement when we check our email. So let's do that. God, look at these old-fashioned computers.
There must be 3 years worth of emails I haven't read here. Better do some cleaning up.
Ah, that's better.
You just controlled C, or is it Control V or whatever, and the highlight all and then just delete them, huh? But
I wish you could be here with me now, Katyusha. We would have found the shop together.
they don't do a very good job of explaining what her relationship with Katyusha is. I mean, it's inferred that they were cellmates plus lovers, but it's, I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I was implying. Mondial Magazine. Why couldn't they just been good friends? But anyway, Fallen Idol goes missing. January 14th, 2001. Katerina Spiridonova, the one-time idol of Soviet youth, is reported missing. The child prodigy, also known as Katyusha, joined the prestigious Soviet choir at an early age. Many were her fellow countryfolk who shed a tear on hearing her performance on state radio, the famous song that gave her nickname, Katyusha, or Kushusha, whatever. The homonym owes nothing to chance. Indeed, Katyusha's parents, devoted party officials, had planned out her life with the goal of making her the epitome of the model citizen. But on reaching adolescence, Katyusha began to rebel, moving from one or more less radical libertarian group to another. Katyusha ended up supporting every struggle against the established order. She militated for the rights of women, homosexuals, and every oppressed minority in general. A defiance took shape in the early 2000s when Katyusha founded a punk group. Their provocative lyrics and parody of cabaret and patriot songs began finding an echo in circles with a liberal tendency in the West. It would seem that the young woman disappeared in mysterious circumstances a few nights ago after a concert when driving an old van belonging to the band on a country road. The wreck of the vehicle is found at the bottom of the river. However, one police source confirms that Katyusha's body had not been found, but that all the evidence suggests her body had been carried away by the river. This has been contested by other members of Katyusha's band. The young woman claimed that their leader's disappearance was mandated by their political enemies to reduce their friend to silence. There is nothing, however, to support this conspiracy theory.
Oh my God, Mom was buried months ago.
Wasn't it a year ago, though? Oh, no, they were setting it up to try and get her there. Anyway, New Jersey Times obituary notes. August 25th, 2005. Sarah Walker, following a long illness, sadly passed away at the age of 65 on August 23rd, 2003. Involved in the field of culture, especially in opera, and much loved by her neighbors and friends, she leaves behind her happy memories to all who knew her. Sarah was also the mother of the brilliant lawyer, Kate Walker, who has not been seen since she left for Europe over a year ago. The burial of Sarah has been postponed by 1 week to give extra time for the news to reach her daughter. It is hoped that Miss Walker will be able to come home to say a last farewell to her mother. Olivia Foster, a long-standing friend of the family, invites all those who would like to pay their last respects to Sarah Walker to attend the religious services at 2 p.m. on August 28th. Olivia and her husband, Dan, would like to thank everyone who joins them in their grief, as well as Frank Malkovich and his staff at the Mount Sinai Hospital. All right, organization. The Brown Shadow. That sounds goofy, you know, like someone took a crap in their pants or something like that, you know. The Brown Shadow, Luminous History. The Brown Shadow is a term used to designate the wave of Nationalist Socialism that swept across Europe in the first half of the 20th century. It first came to light in the 1920s in Central Europe. It rose to power in the 1930s and subsequently won over the rest of Europe, so triggering the Second World War. In addition to civil and military victims of the ensuing conflict, the racial ideology of the Brown Shadow is responsible for genocides that led to the systematic organized death of millions of people. These genocides were carried out in systematic and relentless manner until the liberation of the victims by Allied forces. Now let's go back. Alright, let's search locations. Vaugen. Town. Vaugen, Osterhall. Vaugen is the capital of Osterhall, a small country in Central Europe with a population of 9 million people. The city is built along the banks of the River Dombre, the third longest river in Europe. It is bordered by the Alps that separate it from Switzerland. What's it with these games and adding real-life locations and fake locations into it? Either use all of them real or make up all of them. As the fourth largest German-speaking city in the world, Vaugen is renowned for its history, with its origins dating back to the 6th century, and for its architecture largely influenced by the Art Nouveau movement. Devastated by a fire at the beginning of the 20th century, Vaugen became largely mechanized during its subsequent reconstruction. It since offers numerous curiosities that have fascinated generations of travelers and tourists. Its population, estimated today to be 1.5 million inhabitants, was subject to the marked decrease during the Second World War. Vaugen, like the rest of Osterhall, was annexed by the fascists of the Brown Shadow. These fascists generalized persecutions against the significant local Vaugeran community. Vaugeran? Until the community was wiped out during the genocide set up throughout Europe during the following years. The number of Vaugeran victims from Vaugen is estimated to over 100,000 people. Mueller shop.
Way too many results that way. I'd never have located the Mueller shop. Good thing I had Frau Wagner's documents.
Alright, back up. Foreign? Iron Taiga. Yeah, that was that one group in the previous game. The Iron Taiga refers to a region of Eastern Europe that has remained largely wild. It is mostly known for having been a defense line of the USSR during the Cold War. Soviet forces deployed a large amount of heavy military equipment in the region for the prevention of an eventual attack by the forces of NATO. Much of the equipment was abandoned on the collapse of the Soviet Union and left to rust or to be recycled by scrap metal and arms dealers. The region is rich in salt, includes a number of industrial hamlets that emerged with the expansion of mining. The activity was subject to a strong decline during the perestroika or restructuration era, when the Soviet industrial fabric was sold piece by piece to the private sector. Some mines remained open, but became the theater of shady operations linked to organized crime and identity splinter groups. Yeah, like salt mines and stuff like that. I think that's it. Okay. So if you do that, you get the browser achievement. When you search all the stuff on the computer later on, it doesn't immediately unlock, if I remember correctly, so. Alright. Let's keep looking around.
Now I get why they call this part of town the Flower District.
My allergies would not thank you.
It's very calm here. Still haven't bumped into any guests since I arrived yesterday. And that suits me fine.
I want to be alone. I'm dark and depressed now, Kate Walker.
I get the impression I've seen that before someplace.
Was that from the first game? I think so. I mean, I don't mind characters getting depressed and having down moments, but don't make it the whole game. Those stories get old really fast.
Hope it still works.
With a little luck and elbow grease, it can work.
I hope it'll be just as calm when I get back. Wouldn't mind some alone time by the fire.
Although, I'll admit, I'm a big fan of alone time, too. Like, a lot.
Hans. According to this flyer, he came to Vaugen during one of his trips.
1919. Osterhall is formed from the dividing of several states after their defeat during the Great War. Vaugen becomes its capital in a difficult economical climate. 1933. As the Great Depression from the United States reaches its height in Europe, the situation becomes critical in Vaugen with an unemployment rate exceeding 25%. 1934. Vaugen owes its salvation to a strange French inventor by the name of Hans Vorarlberg. This young man, on passing through the town on one of his numerous trips to the east, stayed in Vaugen to mechanize the entire city, which was destroyed by fire, so creating thousands of jobs that boosted the stagnant economy before he disappeared as he had appeared. We owe him notably the town jewel, the musical square. 1938. After years of growth, Brown Shadow fascists annexed Vaugen, there following the night of murderous raids against the Vaugeran people. 1945. After years of fascist occupation, Vaugen is finally liberated by the Allied forces consisting of Soviet, American, British, and French troops, a victory greatly facilitated by the local network of resistance fighters. 1955. After a decade of being administrated by Allied forces, Vaugen, and by extension Osterhall, recovers its full sovereignty and begins to transform its local economy. 1995, Osterhall becomes a member of the European Union. Highlights in Vaugen. The musical square, currently under renovation. The must-see destination of Vaugen. No one can say they have visited the town if they have not at least one of the incredible mechanical concerts. 2. The central station. Whether you arrive or leave from the station, one thing is for sure. Its typical architecture is a landmark on its own right. 3. The Antiques District. A destination not to be missed. This district is full of surprises on every corner, just waiting to be picked up by the knowing bargain hunter. 4. The Bridge of Mists. An idyllic view over the Dombre, unique architecture, and numerous traditional shops feature local crafts. This historical monument is not to be missed. Very nice. WW2 Remembrance Tour of Vaugen. As a tribute to the thousands of Vaugerans deported or killed by the Brown Shadow during World War II, this Remembrance Tour will take you to the major locations where wartime horrors took place. We hope you'll leave time for some silence as you stroll on this moving walk through history. It'll take you to the following locations. The Bridge of Mist, the districts that suffered the most from the terrible anti-Vaugeran raids in 1938. Remembrance in the musical district, where Vaugerans from the ghetto were cold-bloodedly executed along with those who tried to protect them. And finally, the central train station, where thousands of innocent people are loaded onto the train of death. We will remember them by No, never mind. I was going to say something crude, but never mind. Let's not go there. 'Tis a silly day. But yes. I kind of would like to, if I ever had the money or time, go to like a tour of Europe and go see like sites like that. Maybe one day, maybe not. We'll see what happens.
That's not my room. Better not go in.
Well, that's never stopped a point-and-click adventure guide before. And there's our locations.
Vaugen is surrounded by the Alps. Switzerland is right on the other side.
Kind of like a map where they try to figure out where Springfield is in The Simpsons.
I understand why Vaugeners call their town the heart of Europe. It's literally in the center of it.
Oh, ho, ho.
That's Germany over there. I wonder how far Barokstadt University is from here.
Very far. Supposedly.
I think that's Frau Wagner's room.
Ah. Musical square painting. A painting of Vaugen. Ah, we've seen this one before. We saw it being worked on in Dana's storyline. That, Kate, you don't want to expect it? There we go. There's Katyusha's guitar pick.
Katyusha's punk group. Would love to have seen them.
Dang it, it's Katyusha. Sorry, I keep messing it up. There's her wallet.
The meager amount I've managed to save since I escaped from the mine.
Should have grabbed one of those golden cups, huh? And there's the picture of Dana.
Perfect. I just need to take this painting to the antique shop I found earlier. Maybe Frau Wagner can tell me how to get there.
Painting in 1937. The signature is quite hard to decipher. It looks like it starts with a K. Alright. I thought there was something else you could examine here. Okay.
I'll find her, Katyusha. Just like I promised. And we'll find out who she is. Or was.
"1937. Painting near a mountain. Can't decipher the painting signature. The young woman. Who is she?" Okay. So we're doing this type of board, huh? The painting was hidden in Major Sutter's train, Iron Taiga, 1944, located by the Brown Shadow. The trains got caught in a rock slide. And then 2004, I found Major Sutter's train with Katyusha, Iron Taiga, 2004. The painting was made in 1937. It was stored in a musical case. The painting case mentions Mueller's shop in Vaugen. Vaugen 2005. I need to find the Mueller shop. Okay. I didn't even have to click on to look on that. So, nope, nothing over there. And then there's the suicide note again. How'd she bring it with her? I thought she left it alone. Well, anyway.
Nice. It seems like a lifetime since I enjoyed some good old-fashioned comfort. Room might not be as cozy as a Yukol yurt, but it's sure more spacious.
Oh yeah, the yurts. I wonder how the Yukols are doing. Time to introspect.
How strange to be here in Vaugen. After months of roaming from east to west on a motorbike, after taking odd jobs here and there to build up a little nest egg to finance this trip, and to be able to stay in this guest house for a time. Lucky Frau Wagner let me in despite my appearance when I arrived, with my meager means. The days when Marson and Lormont paid for my travel expenses seems far away now. It's like they were someone else's memories, fading away with passing time. Guess I've changed. Since the death of Mom and Katyusha, pursuing my hypothetical double on the painting turned out to be too tempting. Comforting, even. In any case, I promised Katyusha I would find her.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it, so... Okay. Enough introspection. Back to plot. Alright. Oh, I was just checking to see if there's anything else in there. Nope. Okay, let's get out of here. Time to bug the madam of the house. See where we can go. Run faster, Kate. Faster. I thought there was a double click button on this thing. No. I mean, technically, I can do the control her type of thing, but...
Oh, hi, dear.
Hi, dear. Anyway. Alright, there's an achievement here if you knock on this a few times.
There's no point drumming on the blasted door. I'm on the telephone. If you don't mind, I'm in the middle of a call.
Can't you see that the telephone is taken? Wait your turn, won't you?
Yes, I arrived safe and sound. I hope to proceed with the identification as soon as they have extracted them out. What? Can't I hang up now? All right, I'll wait. But please, try to be as quick as possible. It's a dreadful business, if you ask me.
Miss Walker, really? I must protest, that is no way to behave. I'm sorry, but I really can't have you eavesdropping in my establishment.
I'm sorry, but I wasn't... I mean, it's not what it seems.
Oh, okay, so you get an achievement for listening in on our conversation, so... Alright, let's ask her some information. Talk!
So, Miss Walker, were the documents of any help to you?
Yes, I was even able to locate the shop I'm looking for. Thank you so much, Frau Wagner.
Good. Let me know if there's anything else I can help you with.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions about your guest house, Frau Wagner?
Oh, I'd be delighted. What would you like to know?
Things seem to be quiet today.
Oh, there's never many guests at this time of year.
Actually, is she a guest too?
Oh, yes. She arrived earlier. An elderly English lady. A former military officer, if I understood correctly. They say she's come on some rather unpleasant business. A burial, from what I can gather. Yes, Miss Walker. And she hasn't let go of the telephone since she got here. But I needn't tell you that, Miss Walker. You already know, don't you?
I'd love to know more about you, Frau Wagner.
Oh, there's not much to tell, really. At least, nothing that would change the course of history.
But I'm sure you've had an eventful life, haven't you?
Well, I was born just after the war in Vaugen, and I've never left. I opened this place and ran it with my husband until he died a few years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
You see, nothing to write home about. Then again, we were never ones for excitement, really. But we were happy, my husband and I.
The room's just perfect. Thank you so much.
There's no need to thank me, Miss Walker. It's my job to make sure my guests are comfortable. And it's not every day we get a young American lady on a motorbike in the middle of the night looking for a mysterious shop. It makes me feel like I'm in a detective novel.
Funny she calls him young American, yet the voice actress for this is like 60 or something. So.
I have a few questions about Vaugen.
Good, because if you'd asked me about the latest scientific discovery, I'd have to say pass. But if it's about Vaugen, then you've come to the right person, my dear.
What can you tell me about the district?
Well, it's one of the oldest districts in Vaugen, traditionally working class. Myself and a few of the other relics who live here do try to keep it from modernization and mass tourism as best as we can. Other districts haven't been so careful, and the locals have been forced to leave their district because of rising rent prices.
To be honest, I haven't had much time to find out about Vaugen and the surrounding area. What is it I should know?
For one, Vaugen is very old, renowned for its charm and culture. As for the surrounding area, it attracts mountain lovers mostly, it being so near to the Swiss Alps, of course. The banks of the Dombre, the longest river in the country, are the delight of summer vacationers.
Apparently the shop I'm looking for is located in Vaugen's Antiques District. Could you tell me how to get there from the guest house?
Your best bet is to take the tram, miss. The town centre is almost entirely pedestrian, and your motorbike won't be of any use there. You'll find the nearest tram stop at the top of the stairs, to your right as you go out of the guest house.
Yep, you're gonna have to walk around like a peasant.
My, quest here is closely linked to the region of Vaugen. Could you tell me a little bit about its history?
I'd be glad to.
The woman I'm looking for must have been about 18 in 1937. Was this an important date in the history of Vaugen?
Not that I know of, no. But I'm not much of a historian, and I wasn't even born then. All I know is that the Troubles came the following years, with the Second World War. So that year must have been a boom year for fascist ideology, when the Brown Shadow was still just another party vying for power by preaching hate.
I found out about the woman I'm looking for thanks to a painting that must have been pillaged by the Brown Shadow during World War II.
Doesn't surprise me. Vaugen, and by extension all of Ostertal, was annexed and occupied by the fascists just before the war. They sacked, stole, and pillaged everything they could, just like they did in the rest of occupied Europe.
Nothing else comes to mind for the moment. Thank you for your time.
Well, feel free to come back and ask if you have any more questions.
Alright. Let's get out there and explore Vaugen. Or I can mispronounce it more, whatever.
Have a nice day, Miss Walker.
Okay, so the second objective for this place is to check some of the local areas. I don't know if it says it here, but yeah, visit the district before you leave. So there's only, I think it's like a couple of buildings we have to check. Let's see. Okay, it's 5 locations we have to see before we go there. Like I said, not a big deal, but I will do it anyway. This is one of them.
The Dombre Guest House. According to what I've read, the Dombre is the longest river in Ostertal and runs through Vaugen.
Well, the Vaugen haven't found me, so we're good there. So let's check our bike. This is another one.
Pity Vaugen is practically all pedestrian. After all those months on the road, I've gotten kind of fond of that old bike.
Apparently old school's better than new school if it lasted this long, especially being made in the 30s. And it wasn't even upkept that well, so, you know. Alright, there's another one here. That's another one to check.
Going by what Frau Wagner told me when I first arrived, this used to be a working class district. Nowadays, I bet everyone wants to snap up these old houses, just like in Brooklyn.
Yeah, don't mess with Brooklyn. Actually, I've never been to... Actually, I have been to Brooklyn. Never mind. I went on the like the Boston tour or whatever. You know, with all the famous buildings during the Revolutionary War and stuff like that. Type of thing. That was years ago, though. Okay. Well, anyway, let's go down here. There's a couple more things to explore. Kate, why aren't you running? Oh wait, you're a 60-year-old in a 25-year-old body, right? There we go. Now she's running. Yeah, most of this place, there's nothing really to explore. Oops. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. There's another one.
This district is just so beautiful.
Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Ah. Nicely rendered scenes. I don't know why I'm acting like that. I'm just messing around. Pleasant people all around. Alright, here's the last one.
Must be the Botanical Gardens. Too bad it's closed.
Well, the guest house in that neighborhood sure are the best things to happen to me since... who knows. But I should go and take the tram now.
Okay. So now we're done with all that. I think there's some other things that you can click on, but for the most part, that was it. For now, our locations are limited because of the plot, so... Yeah, I was trying to see if there's anything else to really mess with. I was about to say, the secondary objective stuff is really the main stuff there, so... Run, Kate, run. Run, don't walk. To this new boutique. This place of antiques. Yeah, see, not really much. It's not. It's like you can't really get lost in this game, you know. This place looks familiar, like a certain other girl did this at one point that apparently looks like Kate, but doesn't actually look like Kate. But okay. All right, guest house, and then the Mueller shop, and nowhere else. So. And we get an achievement, the first clue achievement when you leave this district.
Up in the mountain?
At Devil's Pass, you mean? I did hear something on the news before coming out. What's the latest, then?
They reckon they found remains dating back to World War II, when Alpine resistance networks led refugees across into Switzerland. Nasty times were those.
Yes, not the best times in our history, were they?
Alright, I think this just lasts until we feel like we can continue, so if you ever want to enjoy the... What's up with the base there? Look at that. He's supposed to be moved, but you could tell there's a static image there, so... This game has a lot of weird graphical flaws. Overall, the game doesn't look too bad, but you notice them every once in a while when it comes to, like, picking stuff up or moving certain objects. You know? But, that'd be nitpicking, I guess. But anyway, find ourselves in the Antiques District. Alright, so we need to find the Mueller shop. However, the secondary objective is to explore all the shops around here. Which, there's 11 of them, I believe. It doesn't say there, but it's 11, so. Okay, I think we read, let's see. Okay, so we got some new stuff here. It is not going to be easy to find out if she's left the town or moved on to another address. The guest house owner, a certain Frau Wagner, seems to hold her in very high esteem and has categorically refused to help me. It was all I could do to help get Frau Wagner to tell me that Miss Walker went to the Antiques District on her first day in the city. I shall just have to follow Kate's footsteps in order to reconstitute her trail and trials and tribulations of Vaugen. Never mind, though, after all. It's been my routine for almost the last 3 years now. And there's some information there that he gathered. Get out of my way, losers. Dang it. They won't move. Anyway. Let's deal with all the shop owners. Basically just examine all the shops before going to Mueller's place, so. The newspaper. Further surprising finds in clandestine salt mines. Investigations into the clandestine salt mines discovered in the Iron Taiga region offer a tip-off that have taken a surprising turn. We previously reported the incredible discovery of a brown-shadowed treasure train in the salt mines along with the slave labor forces housed in rudimentary underground cells. Police investigators have now unearthed a collection of invaluable artifacts along with a store of mammoth ivory deemed of major significance by anthropologists around the world. Experts hope that carbon dating will confirm that they are from Neolithic times, in which case these finds will prove the existence of a mystical East European empire corresponding to Great Russia. Furthermore, it has been confirmed that the laborers used to dig out the invaluable artifacts were abducted by an Eastern European fascist militia. This militia thus provided the owners with a constant supply of slaves. During the press conference, Chief Inspector Victor Polinsky said, "These astonishing finds confirm accounts from forced workers that the criminal excavation venture was set up following the premature thaw. The permafrost, thought to have been in existence for 6,000 years, has been slowly melting due to the effects of global warming. To what end the owners were intent on excavating the valuable artifacts and resources is not yet known. Well, at least it's assumed Kate is the one who gave them the secret tip, but...
Typical of the town, judging from what I've seen so far of the architecture here.
Typical Europeans. Ugh. No, just kidding. Alright, that's one shop. Here's two.
An antique shop, but not the one I'm looking for.
Man, it just goes to show, sometimes we have too much stuff. Just stuff. Our houses are basically just places to hold our stuff. Not to live in. Nope. It's when you see antique shops and stuff like that, you just got a kind of sense of, man, we just really can't get rid of stuff, can we? And then we buy more stuff when we get rid of the other stuff. It's stuff-tastic. But anyway. Alright, here's shop number 3, the rug vendor.
Miller's? Oh, straight ahead, Fraulein. You can't miss it. Miller's is just over on the corner. Although I think old Miller must be in the middle of stock taking at the moment. Miller's? Oh, straight ahead, Fraulein.
You only have to talk to him.
Miss it.
You only have to talk to him once, by the way. You don't have to do it multiple times if you don't want to. Here's another shop.
No, that isn't the antique shop I'm looking for.
And this game is almost a walking simulator. Almost. Talk to this guy.
Hello?
Great.
Please refrain from touching the merchandise.
You peasant.
Hello? Please refrain from touching the merchandise.
I thought you had more dialogue. Yeah, for something that you're supposed to talk to someone, you think you'd have interesting dialogue for an objective, but okay. Another guy to talk to.
Müller und Zerner? It's just over there, on the next corner.
Ah, thank you.
You can't miss it, Fraulein.
Sure I can.
Müller und Zerner?
Oh, yeah.
It's just over there, on the next corner.
Should be a sign over here to observe. Yep.
Feels like I've completely lost my appetite since the mines. And yet, Vaugen is famous the world over for its cakes.
You must eat the cakes.
Feels like I've completely lost my appetite since the mines. And yet, Vaugen is famous the world over for its cakes.
I don't want to check that yet, so.
Can't be this way.
Alright, this way. Yeah, you have to observe that to get that, so. And then, I've already talked to that one vendor guy. And then, let's see. There should be a guy over here, but I'm just checking all the other stuff. Yeah, really that door with the sign on is where we actually want to go, but...
That reminds me of the Souk of the Ukels. I really miss not traveling with them sometimes.
You'll be fine, Kate. They're sure not appearing in this story.
Must be nice to live here. In the heart of the district and yet away from prying eyes. Like in another world.
I'd agree. I'd like it. Well, there's too many people here. I like being isolated. Without a lot of noise! And then a car drives like right in front of my house. Actually, right in front of my house is like... The road is actually quite a few steps away, but I still find it annoying.
Even Simon Steiner wouldn't have done any better. I hope he and his granddaughter are okay.
What an authentic district. Brings up memories, too. But I should focus on the Muller shop now.
Yep, we found everything, so...
Can't leave the district yet. Gotta find how Muller's shop first.
She's looking at herself like, silly Kate. Pfft. Why would you go down there? God. Oh. Yeah. Go up. Go up, Kate. We don't need to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway. Look how smooth that train moved. That's a joke because it was stuttering a couple times. I wonder where I'm supposed to go. That guy acts like he's talking to someone there. But he's not. Unless he's on a Bluetooth headset.
The top brands have nonetheless managed to get a foothold in the district.
Ugh. And I know in some towns, like in some places of the world, you can have major franchises there, but you have to actually use the buildings of the city to make the franchise. So you can't build like a McDonald's in certain towns. You have to use like an old refurbished building for it. I'd prefer that. That would actually make it more interesting, but nope. If I was a mayor of town, yeah, I'd force all the...
Müller und Söhne. Mother and son. This must be the place. I thought as much. So, Hans was here in Vaugen after all. That hallmark on that sphere proves it. Wonder what that automaton was used for. I have to get a closer look. Well, that is if someone lets me in.
Time to break in, because it looks like it's closed.
Looks like he's busy. I need to attract his attention.
There's an obvious one. Nope, that's not gonna work. I would ignore it if someone did that to my store.
Inventory day. Ring 3 times for urgent matters.
Well, it's not urgent per se, but we want to talk to him anyway.
You rang?
Yes. Sorry to bother you.
It's not an emergency, but I want to talk to you anyway.
Hello. I mean, guten Tag. Herr Müller?
Guten Tag, Fräulein. I am stock-taking, if you will.
Oh, sorry to disturb you, but if you don't mind, I'd like to show you a painting.
A painting?
Yes, of someone I'm looking for. A girl who apparently looked like me.
Well, I'm rather busy. But all right. Show me.
You see? It has the name of your shop on it.
Yes, the label certainly comes from here. It's very old, though.
It's the only clue I have as to the whereabouts of the girl.
I see.
My guess is, whoever owned the painting must have been a client of the shop before the painting was stolen by the Brown Shadow during the Second World War.
That's all very possible. That was when the shop sold materials for artists. As you can see, we don't sell that type of article anymore. Do you mind if I take a look?
Be my guest. I've been told I look like the model in the painting. A slight exaggeration, no doubt. But is there any chance that you know who she could have been?
There's no exaggeration, Fräulein. Indeed, she does look like you. But I'm sorry, I've never seen her before.
Do you know anything about the artist?
Well, I'd say the style is close to the naturalist school, which makes sense given the date on it. The signature is very faint. From what I can make of it... No, the name doesn't ring a bell. Sorry, Fraulein.
How could the case have come from your shop?
Going by the date, the painting must have been done in my grandfather's day. Back then, the shop sold materials for art, and this type of case would have been used to protect a painting. Or to carry documents, a manuscript, or even sheet music. Apart from that, there's not much else I can tell you.
Pity. You were my last hope.
I can tell you where it was painted, though, if it's any help.
Oh?
Yes, I'm certain. That's the refuge at the Silberspiegel. You can make out the mountain circus in the background. It overlooks Vaugen and leads to the Swiss border.
Right.
You can get there by the tramway. Just head southeast and get off at the end of the line.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Mind you, there's quite a hike from the station to the refuge.
Oh, I'll manage.
Anything else, Fräulein?
Actually, there is. I noticed an object in your window there. A strange metal sphere which might work with an automaton mechanical heart I have.
Yes, it's an authentic Vorarlberg.
Do you mind if I try it?
No, not at all. Let me get it for you. Here you go.
Thanks.
Alright, well, looks like we got a mystery to solve and see if we can figure out this old Vorarlberg technology. I guess Hans is still, creeping up to us, even from beyond the grave with his mammoths. But what awaits us in this orb here, and how will the hike towards our destination go? Find out next time in the next episode of Syberia, the World Beyond. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.